All right, I think we're finally live. I've been watching the chat. It's so much fun to watch the chat because you guys are just having so much fun. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw a few of these on the screen just to let everyone have a moment to get into the queue. I know this is brand new. And yeah, special shout out to Ashley, my assistant, who is going to help monitor the chat. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. You rock as always, so I do appreciate it. I'm just going to throw a few of these on the screen. Just give us a second to let everyone in. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get everybody in here, but I will try and get everyone on the screen for a moment. It's so much fun doing live shows. You know, it's always, you know, we always talk about this at the Academy too. It's always interesting to hear what the weather is like all around the country and all around the world. I noticed as we were playing in the chat that there were some people from, oh, we've got Ireland, and here's one from England. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. Everything's going well. I think I have tested everything to death. I don't know that I could do any better, but we'll see. So I'm just going to try and keep throwing a few of these on. Boy, we got people from a lot of the UK area, which is just awesome. Yes, hello to everyone. In fact, let me do this. Hang on one second. I've got so many screens open, it isn't funny. I'm trying to get down to some of the people that were in here earlier and from all over the place. So just bear with me for a minute. We're going to get going here in just a second. I'm just going to give an opportunity for a lot of people to get in the door. It looks like we have almost 200 people in the house already. So yeah, awesome. Welcome, welcome. Ontario. I'm imagining that it is getting pretty cold in Ontario about now. Southern Indiana. Oh my goodness. I am thrilled to see everybody here. All right. Well, shall we get this party started? I say we do. Yep. I say we do. All right. Okay, today we are talking about the FamilySearch Full Text Search, and boy, if you have not used it before, you're missing out, because this is probably the hottest technology that has come out since the zipper was invented, since sliced bread, whatever you want. It is been around for about a year, but it is still in beta. And so with that, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully things aren't going crazy. I'm also going to tell you, Miss Ashley, if for some reason something terribly goes wrong, text me. I've got my cell phone in front of me. So with that, let's get started. So FamilySearch. So a couple little housekeeping things before we get started. We're going to take questions at the end of the presentation. So Ashley might be able to answer some of them, but if you are looking for me to answer them, yeah, I won't even be able to look at it until the end probably. But you want to start with QQQ. That way it jumps out at us in the chat, and we can then pay attention to that. So with that, I would invite you to subscribe to the channel. Please do. If you are new here, I realize you have absolutely no reason to subscribe to the channel because I haven't given you anything yet. And so I hope to give you the gift of knowledge here throughout the next hour. And if you are already subscribed, I thank you for that. And consider subscribing also to the Genealogy TV 2 channel. There is actually 2 channels now. And so for those who are not familiar with the Genealogy TV 2 channel, it is basically a place where I just literally on the weekends, I hit record and start doing research and tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And that seems to be a pretty popular format. And so it's pretty much unedited. Sometimes I will do a little light trimming in there, but for the most part, it is unedited. So you can find that at youtube.com/@ the little @ symbol, Genealogy TV 2, or if you just search Genealogy TV 2, you should be able to find it, and your subscription there would be most appreciated. Please know, recording of this presentation, the handout that is available, we'll talk about that in a second, has a lot of the information in it, but this is all copyrighted material, so please and thank you. This presentation is only going to be available until Sunday night, February 3rd, limited time only, and then it becomes an Academy only presentation. So please be aware, tell your friends if they want to see it this weekend, because it's going down Monday morning. Okay. I do not work for FamilySearch. I do not work for Ancestry. I do not work for anyone but myself. So I am here to help you. So that gives me the ability to be very, I don't want to say opinionated. I can give you my honest opinion, though, of what I like and what I don't like. And for the most part, I usually talk about what I like. And this topic is one of them. So this is sponsored by my own company, the Genealogy TV Academy. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but it's my baby. Okay? There is a handout available. This is for the Genealogy TV Academy members. For those of you who are Academy members, it's available to you right now on the website. All you need to do is go there and look for the most recent lesson, and it's in there. I've already uploaded it for you. YouTube channel members at the information access level, you should hopefully be able to find it. I hope Ashley was able to get that up there. And the Patreon Happy Dance level folks will be able to get that as well. And then, or you can just purchase it at the genealogytv.org/handouts, part of the website. And so there you go. Okay, let's talk about FamilySearch Full Text Search. I'm telling you guys, if you have not tried this, OMG, we've got to like totally get you on board. And this video is going to do that, because it is really, it was announced last year at Roots Tech, so 11 months ago. Roots Tech is coming up in about a month or so. And it is still in beta. It is still an experiment. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. But it is a free resource. If you are an Ancestry exclusive person, I invite you to check out FamilySearch.org and get yourself a free account. They do not spam you. They do not email you with junk. There are no ads on their website. It is one of the most wonderful free genealogy resources out there. So why should you care? Let me tell you, we're finding records that we've never seen before. And we're finding so many quality records. We're talking court records and all kinds of official records in this product that we've never, ever seen before, that has never been available to us. So a little bit about FamilySearch. If you're new to FamilySearch, it's a collaborative tree. That means everybody's working on one giant, humongous tree. And if you are totally new to FamilySearch and you start with yourself and you put who your parents are and you kind of start building your tree, they'll walk you through this little wizard. And you start putting stuff in, and eventually you're going to connect with somebody that's already in the tree, because this is just one giant family, right? So eventually when you connect to the person that is already in the tree, then suddenly you're connected between your little part of the world. This is what you see in the fan chart there is my little part of the world, right? I'm in the center down here in this little center circle, but a lot of people are researching these people that are in my ancestry because it's also in their ancestry. And so that is the collaborative tree in a nutshell. And it's got a ton of free records and free resources for you. So the full text search is an experiment. Okay, so it is a mind-boggling resource. What it's doing is it's reading typewritten and handwritten records. We've never had technology quite like this before. Now, Ancestry had started with, I think it was the 1950 census, and they had developed a handwriting recognition to help with the indexing the 1950 census, which was accomplished in like 9 days. It was incredible. Well, now FamilySearch is using a similar technology, if not the same, I'm not sure, to read handwritten text, as well as using OCR, as well as using AI, as well as using our family trees to help connect all of this stuff together in the full text search. And it is amazing. And I'm going to show you how I do this here in a moment. So in this example, all I did was search for Blake in New Mexico. I was just making it up just for an example here. But you can see in this handwritten document, everywhere it's highlighted, it's showing the word Blake. It's amazing. What's also amazing is if there is a record that is really hard to read or faint, a lot of times the handwriting recognition can read it. So it is amazing. And I do see a lot of new members popping in to the script there. So thank you so much to all of you who are saying hello from around the world. So FamilySearch Full Text Search not only is, doing this incredible job, but I think it's going to make using microfilm readers obsolete in the near future. And it is especially good at helping us find our ancestors in records that either haven't been indexed or are minimally indexed. Because a lot of times you think about it, these indexes, they might have a name and an age and a place, which is fine. But what if we're trying to find somebody who's under a different name? I had a little 7-year-old boy I was trying to find, and I was able to search his first name and the location and some other little details, and I used the word guardianship, and I was able to find him. He was living in a household with a different family who was associated with my family, so I was able to prove that it was my guy. So some of the keywords, we're going to talk about that here, but some of the keywords that you use could be really, you got to kind of have to think differently now. It's not just a name and a place, but we could be searching for things like last will and testament, guardianship, all kinds of different little texts that we might be seeing in a legal document. So it could be that you're trying to find someone who lived on a certain creek at a certain time. And so it might be that you can search the creek. So it just depends, okay? So with the FamilySearch, what kind of records are we finding there? Well, at first we were told that we could find wills and probate, and this was from a variety of areas. There was the U.S., Australia, I think there was, it might have been Canada, I can't remember if Canada was included. There was some probate records, I think, from New Zealand, and we have the ability to now see more records. Now, land records was part of that originally, and military records are now starting to pop up. Now, this was not something they announced. I have a feeling that maybe I'm scooping what they're going to announce at Roots Tech, but we're seeing military records. I have found many naturalization records, and some vital records. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So, all right. So what I've done, because I'm still losing my voice from having been sick last month, I have a pre-recorded video to show you. Plus, one of the reasons why I did this was because, excuse me, was because sometimes the experimental website there at FamilySearch, the full text search site goes down frequently because they're updating it. And as we get closer to Roots Tech, I think they're updating it a lot. So let me show you this video. Okay, well, first of all, if you don't have a FamilySearch account, you need to get a FamilySearch account. So we're going to talk about how to search the full text search on FamilySearch. This is just awesome, and it's free, and the records that are coming online are more and more every day. So here I've already logged into my account. They've got this new version up here. I click on try it. It's kind of fun, gives you some information. I have turned this on because the FamilySearch Labs is easier to find. Otherwise, if it is, I'll exit the preview for a moment, it's all the way down at the bottom of the page. You got to keep scrolling and scrolling. I just find it easier when this is already turned on. We're getting ready to launch a new version of this page, so go ahead and try it, because you might as well get used to it. It looks like they're going to go there anyway. So we go to the FamilySearch Labs and we click View Experiments. Now, if you'll notice, the URL is familysearch.org. In my case, it's English, so it's /English/labs. Okay. So you could grab that URL and jump straight here if you wanted to. You could bookmark it if you want to. And so now what I want to do is I don't want to turn it off. It probably says try it if you're new here. This little button here will be green and it'll say try it, but I'm already got it turned on, so I'm going to click on go to experiment. For those who have already come here and are pretty familiar with it, hang in there while I teach those who are new here how to get started. There's really 3 sections to this, right? There's this search box here, find a collection, and then there's these advanced search tips. And we're going to talk about these advanced search tips in a moment. Now, what they have taken away recently was the information about what is included in this collection. And I'm telling you, what originally was included was like the U.S. probate and land records. There was Mexico notary records, Australian probate records. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. And so there was just a handful of types of collections, but oh my gosh, the amount of records we were finding was amazing. And I was finding records that were court records that were beyond land and probate records. I was finding things like guardianship records. And sometimes those guardianship records were within maybe a probate package because a child was orphaned. So, you know, you have to kind of think about the types of keywords and stuff you're going to be searching. Before we get too deep into it, I want to point this out. So I'm not really going to talk about the collection over here because I find it just goes back to a lot of the collections that they already have, because really the meat and potatoes is going to be in this section. But first, use the cheat sheet. Now here it says, try the following in your searches to help narrow down your results. Now, when you're searching something like a full text search or an OCR, it's looking for exact wording, exact phrasing, okay? So one of the things you want to do is, if you know that somebody used the exact same name, and in this case they're showing you Henry Jones, you could put quotes around it. If you don't put quotes around that name, you're going to get every Henry and every Jones separately. And so when you put Henry Jones in quotes, it's going to give you the exact phrase. Okay? Here they're saying use the plus symbol, and this says plus Judith. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you're looking for a husband and wife, and maybe you're looking for a land record, and it's Henry Jones and his wife Judith, then you can put the plus included with Henry Jones, and it's really going to narrow your results down. You could also say Henry Jones is a popular name, and you're getting tons of results with a Henry Jones that you know is not your guy. And Henry Jones is the brother of John Jones, and you don't want to see anything with John in it. So then you could put a minus in front of it and say, don't show me anything with a John listed in it. So then you could do that. Now, we're going to talk about this using wildcards here in a couple of our searches in a moment, and also this wildcard, the asterisk, we're going to talk about that here in a moment. So let's do a search. Okay, jumping over to my Ancestry account for a moment, I want to research George Washington Simmons. Now, this is honest to God new research. I have not done this. I haven't pre-tested this to make sure that I actually have the records I'm looking for, but several pieces of information have led me to believe that he owned land. So let's go over to the full text search and see if we can find some land records for George Washington Simmons. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put his name in here. It was Simmons with an S. He was born in 1850 in Virginia, and he died in 1928 in Florida, but he actually died while on vacation. He lived in Ohio, Jefferson County, Ohio, when he died. So now what I want to do is I want to see if I can find anything on him during his adult life. He's not going to own land as a child. So let's go 1870. Since he was born in 1850, let's go 1870 at least, because that would make him 20 years old, to 1928 when he passed away. And we're going to say Ohio. And now, keep in mind, George Washington Simmons, I'm going to minimize this to George W. Simmons because that's how I see a lot of his records. And so I'm going to put in George W. Simmons and see what I get. So I put quotes around George W. Simmons so that I get exactly that. Now, I could find him under G.W. Simmons as well. In fact, let's make this Jefferson County. We can always go back. We always want to use the drop down, by the way. This is a standardized place, so we're going to use that. We could always go and modify this after our search. So let's see what we get. All right, we have 63 results in Jefferson County for George W. Simmons. Probate court in the matter of the estate of somebody else, deceased. Okay. So this is basically saying, at a quick glance, 100 feet eastward of George W. Simmons. So this is somebody else. This is a neighbor. And George W. Simmons is being named as a neighbor in her probate case. I'm not interested in that. But I might be if I'm trying to locate the land. So if I'm really trying to do some land research, and I'm trying to figure out where his land was, I might be able to use all the neighbors that might be showing up. So George W. Simmons being 200 feet long, adjacent to the property. Okay, so this, again, is a neighbor. So I'm not interested in that. Attorney in the matter of the estate of George W. Simmons, deceased. Notice of appointment of Robert Simmons. So this is part of his probate package. Okay, so now I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to open that in a new tab. Or you could use your mouse wheel, was what everybody tells me, and I never use that. So I've opened that in a new tab. I'm going to look at that, but first I want to come down and see if there's anything else. 50, let's see, Pike Road and 50 eastward of George W. Simmons southeast corner, so I'm not interested in that. Unless I'm trying to locate his land, I might use all the neighbors' property to help figure out where he is. George W. Simmons and wife to Stephen, whoa, this is interesting. Know all men, these presents of George W. Simmons and Annie E. Simmons, his wife, yes, that's right. Okay, so this is a deed. So we're going to open this in a new tab. I'm going to click the mouse wheel, and you can see I've opened that. So we'll get to that in a second. All right, so now 63 results is not too many to go through. When you get to thousands, that's when you want to start using some of these filters, and you can then say record type, and see it says legal, miscellaneous records, periodicals, or vital records. See, vital records are being included here. This is interesting. It's even telling me how many are using that name. I say, So if I click on that vital records, it says 1 birth record, 2 marriage records. More than likely this is a child. And 2 marriage records. Let's go see what those are. So you can sit there and play with these filters as well as all of this keyword searching over here.
Let's hit apply and see what we get. We should have 2 results. Marriage record in the state of Ohio, Jefferson County. Okay, so that might be worth looking at. This is a marriage record for somebody else naming his father. Whether that's my guy or not, I don't know. So here I'm going to go back up to the tabs that I've opened now. I've got 4 records that I've opened, and I want to take a look. So now that you're into a record, this one happens to be typewritten, but full text search is reading handwritten records too, which is incredible. So we want to definitely be looking at that. So if we scroll down and take a look, it's highlighting all of the words that we had put into our search. So Ohio, Jefferson County, George W. Simmons, deceased. This day came Helen T. Hackett, bookkeeper for the Steubenville Herald-Star, made proof of publication and the notice of appointment for Robert Simmons as administrator to the estate of George W. Simmons, deceased. All right, so this is information that I want to keep, okay? So now there's a couple things I can do. Certainly, there's so many things to tell you. Okay, first of all, you always want to go backwards because there may be more to this record. Because the index found these words, we picked the first one that popped up, but there could be more to this estate package. So we want to go backwards 1 page at least to see if maybe that is the end of somebody else's. Yeah, see, this is in the matter of somebody else's record. So we know that now that this is the beginning of this record. And if you'll notice, it's probably not done, but let's go forward 1 page and see if there's any more to this. Okay, so this is now going on to another one. So this appears to be 1 page. So now I'm on image 450. And there are so many things to do here that we can do. So here we have the information about the notice of appointment a couple times here. And so all this really gives us in this particular type of record is an understanding that there is a probate package and more information to find. So we know that this happened August 17th, 1928. And so what we want to do is there's a couple different download buttons. There's this download button where we can download a PDF record with the highlights, which, you know, a lot of times I do, especially if there's a lot of type on the page. That way it'll save me having to read it later. You can do the PDF record image with no highlights, a JPEG only, no record image at all. You can download the transcript, which is over here, and a source citation. Please always download the source citation. So if we download that and then we open that, you can see what it looks like. And so here is the image of that record. Here is an unedited, not so great transcript, but in this case it's, and remember, it's the entire page. It's transcribing everything from the very top all the way to the very bottom. So it might be that you want to go in and like copy and paste only the information that it pertains to your ancestor, okay? And so we may find that, you know, only our ancestor is the information that we want. The cool part is it gives you a citation and the URL. Yeah. So now we've got this information. We can save it to our records. I've got it in my downloads folder. So if I go over to my downloads folder, I can go straight to my folder where my downloads are and then rename it. In this case, I would name it Simmons in all capital letters and then George Washington. And I would probably put something like probate notice of appointment 1928 or something along those lines. So before I close this, what I want to do is I want to also show you a couple things over here. So here we've got this whole transcript. This is exactly as it sees it, whether it understood every dot and every comma and everything or not. Remember, this is an experiment, so it's not always perfect, okay? And so you can copy just the transcript if you want. You can also ask the AI to summarize this document if you want. You can copy the transcript alone. So you can just copy it and then copy it into your research notes and delete all of the information that you don't want. Sometimes that's faster than doing it from a PDF because PDFs are challenging to edit sometimes. So that's this. Now, if we go up here to groups, the group data, you can see a little bit more information about where this is filed. It's under miscellaneous records and probate records, which is kind of interesting. And if we scroll down here all the way to the bottom, there is the source citation as well. So you can copy it here. If you want to see the full source citation, you can see it down here. You can click that copy button and it copies it to the clipboard, and then you can paste it into your research notes. One of the things that I always do as well is I will copy the URL, because this is for my research notes. I copy the source citation, then I also put, after the full stop period, I will say also, and then I will put the URL, especially for full text search type of records, because it's a bit of a challenge to be able to extract that stuff from, the PDF document. A lot of times I will download the PDF document and just throw it in my folder for this ancestor. I do like to do this separately in my research notes because it's just easy. And then I don't have to write a source citation. It's all there for me, and it's beautiful. And thank you very much, FamilySearch, for doing such a great job with source citations. There's also a citation up here that you can get to a little bit easier than going all the way to the group data if you don't want to do that. This is a recent addition since my last video about this. So thank you again to FamilySearch for doing that, because this was a little bit of a challenge to find. What is this, you ask? I don't know. Add image to source box. Go to my source box. Okay, so you can, they have this shoebox up there that you can add to it. It's just similar to the shoebox that you have on Ancestry. All right, what else do I need to show you? You can close this, and then you can move all that group data and everything to the bottom. I personally like it on the side, so I leave it up on the side. There's your full text again. Did I show you this one? Yes, I showed you that one. This one, oh, they've changed it. It's now the same thing. These used to be two different types of download. Customize your download. Yep, it's exactly the same thing now. Okay, that works for me. You do have some filters over here. If you can't read some of the handwritten stuff, you can brighten and darken. You can contrast usually. So if you have something that's really faded, here's what I suggest you do. Is you brighten it up a little bit, but then you crank the contrast. So in this case, this is not hard to read at all, so it's not necessary. But if you have a document that is really faint and hard to read, and maybe the transcript didn't get it all, then you can play with the brightness and contrast. And I personally never have any success with invert colors, but some people might. And if it's sideways, you can rotate the image right or left. So if you get, way down in here, you can hit the home button, basically. I don't know what you want to call that. You get zoomed in, you see this pop up. It'll get you back to center really fast. Okay, this is a nice little feature. Heck yeah, I love this feature. And the reason why is because sometimes we want to search more records in the same file, okay? And so with that, you can do that. So scrolling around, you can see this is the image I was on. Click into it to get back to the full-size image. So here I have jumped ahead to the next tab. In fact, I'm going to close the one I was on. And I have now found the deed for George W. Simmons and his wife, at least one. I know that he owned a lot of land right before he passed away. He sold a bunch of it. And so this is going to be really helpful. It looks like it was recorded in 1901. So I'm going to read through that. I'm going to grab the transcript. I'm going to add all that to my research notes. Yippee-yi-yay, I found his deed, which is, I would not have found this if it hadn't been for full text search. Thank you, thank you, thank you, FamilySearch. Let's jump over to this one. This is a marriage record, it appears to be. So we have some vital records in here. I'm looking to see where they are in here. So this is the marriage record for one of the children, Hilda Simmons. Oh, her father's name is George W. Simmons, and mother's maiden name is Anna Dunbar. I know that is really hard to read. Let me zoom in. So there's George W. Simmons and Anna Dunbar. And so this is one of the children, Hilda, okay? So this may be information that, this is kind of information that you trip across. where I would still add in his research notes that he was noted as the father in Hilda's marriage certificate. When was this? 1913. So he has not passed away yet. So I would insert that in his timeline. Even if he had passed away and she was getting married after he had died, I would still put it at the bottom of his research notes in kind of like an other records section and say that he and Anna Dunbar were mentioned in her marriage record and give a date to that. Everything in the research dates. As you know, I love research notes. Okay, so some of what we've been finding lately is naturalization records, military records, and such. So speaking of Dunbar, so here's George W. Simmons and Anna Dunbar. I'm back on Ancestry, by the way, because this is where I keep my tree. But I am going to jump up the tree to Robert S. Dunbar, and I want to see if the full text search can do me anything for Robert S. Dunbar. I have not done this research, so we're doing this together. And I'm going to go to experiments, and I'm back here again. So I'm going to say Robert. This is in the name field. You could do this in the keyword field, Robert S. Dunbar. Now, here's the thing. I haven't talked to the project manager or product managers over at FamilySearch. I've been trying to get a hold of them. But what I want to show you in a different tab, and I've kind of proven this to be true for myself multiple times, is that, let's zoom in a little bit. Here's George W. Simmons. Now I'm on FamilySearch in the tree, in my part of the tree. You know, it's a world collaborative tree. Here's Elizabeth Dunbar, and here's Robert S. Dunbar. So he is connected to me in my tree, okay? So what I've kind of surmised is that the full text search is using your tree, going, okay, here's what I think they're doing anyway. Okay, Robert S. Dunbar is in Connie's tree, and she's looking in the full text search for Robert S. Dunbar, and in this case, I'm going to put quotes around this one as well. And where was he? He was in Jefferson County, Ohio. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here, but what I think is going on, I've kind of proven this to myself so many times. Jefferson County, Ohio, there we go. I've proven this to myself so many times that it is using my tree in combination with records. It's an AI. Come on, let's face it. It's an AI. It's saying, okay, there's a connection here, right? And we're looking for this criteria. So instead of giving every Robert S. Dunbar, or we'll just do it without quotes just to see what we get. Every Robert, every Dunbar, every Robert S., every S. Dunbar, maybe Stephen Dunbar, I don't know what it could deliver. But let's do this without the quotes, just for grins and giggles. He was 1819 to 1897. 1897. Sorry, I had to repeat that so I wouldn't forget it. Okay, so we're going to do this search and see what we get. Look at that. Robert S. Dunbar and his wife, Martha. Is he married to a Martha? He was. Okay, so here's a deed. Jefferson County. Fabulous. Right click, open a new tab, or hit your scroll bar, right? Deed. Now, sometimes you will find the same deed, but I'm going to open all of these up. Now I'm using my scroll bar. Estate. That's not him. That's not him. How many results did we get? 224,000 results. But yet it delivered these two to the top. And wife, et al. Et al. Meaning and others. I don't know if this is him or not, but we can go look. All right. So these two records alone, I just am amazed by this whole process. So let's go look at this first one, right? This is the first one, 1865, 1866. And it's handwritten, you guys. It is reading handwritten records. If you have not tried this, you must. All right. Everybody that has had success with FamilySearch, put heck yeah in the comment section and let her rip, because I want everybody who has not done this to see how many people have had success with this, because it is phenomenal. So here we have Robert S. Dunbar. It's reading the handwriting. It's amazing. Now, of course, I would have to go through here and really study this and make sure that this is my family, but I can look at Martha Jane. Right? Was he married to a Martha Jane? Let's double check. Martha Jane. Yep. So we've got it. All right. So this is phenomenal. So now and the nice part is I can copy the transcript right here and then go into another document. Now, I don't put full long documents in my research notes. What I do is I open a separate document that is all about this particular record. And at the top of it, I put where I found it, what is it, the year it was created, who it is about, other people that are named in the document. So if this was a will, for example, it might name all the children, witnesses, everybody you would want to note at the top, kind of create yourself a header. And then what you could do is create yourself a header for like a document cover sheet. Okay. And then save it. Like put a header on it, put a footer on it if you want. I do this in Word, and then save it as a master file. Then just all you have to do is then open that up and then copy it to a new document about this particular record, fill out the little form that you created for yourself, and then add the transcription. So then you can come over here and you copy the transcription and you paste it into that document. And then you clean it up, because handwritten documents, look, you can see that there's going to be some issues and it may not understand something quite right. And so you might see that there is some typos and things that the AI didn't quite understand correctly. This is handwriting recognition. But in this particular case, the handwriting is fairly legible. But sometimes when you have smudges, you might be able to understand what it is, but maybe the machine didn't. And so you could then clean it up, and you could also remove, like if there's more information on the page than what belongs to your ancestor, you could remove the other stuff that's not necessary, right? Then you create the source citation, easy peasy. You copy that and paste it into the footnotes of that document, and you can also copy the image. You can download a copy of the image only and then paste that into that document as well. So now what you've got is a nice clean document that has the header information about where you found it. It's got the source citation, it's got an image of the document, and it's got the transcript all in one document. Now, what you could do also, if you really want to get crazy, is you could surmise this document using their tool, or you could use another AI or whatever. So AI generated this from the transcript, and it basically says the document is primarily involves several land transactions from Jefferson County. You could clean this up to make it just your own family and make sure that it's accurate. It gives you dates. It gives you the names of all the people. Look, man, this is just awesome. I just love this. Love, love, love. Okay, let's talk about the two wildcards we didn't talk about before, and that is the question mark and the asterisk. The question mark is going to be for a single character, and the asterisk is going to be for multiple characters. So here I have created a search for Christopher. I also used the plus, mads, question mark, for either SEN or SON is kind of what I'm thinking. And then I gave it Laramie, Wyoming. Now it resulted in 273 results. And as you can see here, I have Christopher Madsen. Now, let's talk about the search for a moment. I tried this a couple different ways, and I broke it the first couple times. It kept saying, I'm sorry, there was a problem. We have to go back. I had put quotes around here instead of the plus, and it didn't like that. So this time I tried the plus, and that seemed to work better. You don't want a space, by the way, between the plus and the next word, whatever it is that you're adding to it. So here you can see I have Christopher Madsen with an S-O-N. Here's a Madsen with an S-E-N. And here's Christopher Madsen here. So this is the kind of search results we can get with the question mark being for a single character. By the way, these are pretty common for a lot of search engines, so you might try some of these tricks on other search engines. So let's talk about the asterisk, right? This is the little symbol above, what is that? The number 8. And so you can use this in place of a lot of different characters. So the results I would expect from something like this, Lawrence plus J asterisk S-O-N, I could get Johnson Johansson, Jefferson. There are so many different possibilities because of the number of characters that could contain. So as you can see here, I did get a Lawrence Johnson. It actually is one of my ancestors. And as we scroll through the list, at first it's showing me Marshall Johnson, so there's a variety of things going on here. My point being is that you could find a variety of spellings here. Here's Jefferson, right? You could have a Jacobson, like you see here. So if you have somebody who has a variety of spellings, and maybe they went by Johansson in Denmark, and when they came here they went by Johnson, then this might be a proper search term for you as you are using the wildcards to help you. Just a reminder, handout is available for you for the Genealogy TV Academy members. That lesson's already on the website. There is the YouTube information access level channel members, the Patreon Happy Dancers. Those people have access to the handout, or you can just purchase it at the website at genealogytv.org/handouts. And so, I get thousands of questions constantly, which is one of the reasons why I do what I do, because I absolutely love teaching genealogy. And I'll get to the live chat questions here in just a moment. But if you want to kind of go ahead and populate your question, use QQQ in the chat window or in the comments, and I will try and get to them. So during the live, it will be in the chat window, and during the playback, it will be in the comment section. So if you would go ahead and do that, that way it can help me see where I am in the chat window. And so I will try and get to your questions. There are hundreds of videos now on the YouTube channels, across now 3 channels altogether. And so with that, I get a ton of questions, as you can imagine, which is one of the reasons why I created not only the YouTube channel, but the Genealogy TV Academy, because I can really address those questions and help people get them answered. Because really, that's what it's all about, is having fun with your genealogy and getting some answers to your questions. So, a lot of people I love this graphic. A lot of people like to rake the leaves, as I call it. And that is like cleaning up all the hints on their tree all the time. And I get it. I do it too sometimes, just for entertainment, for what I call mindless genealogy, where I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of looking at the hints and going, yeah, that maybe is my guy or not. But so I suggest that you stop raking the leaves, though, and really get focused on one ancestor at a time. Let's really think about pinpointing the problem or the ancestor, or one thing at a time, because then you can kind of remove all the clutter and you can get rid of the unnecessary distractions and what people call the rabbit holes as you're going down. So this way it helps you avoid mistakes, right? This is why it is important to keep your tree clean, right? You don't want to leave behind a family tree where one branch of it is completely wrong because you didn't pay attention enough and imported the wrong branch or the wrong person and then started barking up the wrong tree, right? So you want to have confidence in your research so that you can share an accurate family history with your family. And that way it will prevent other people from hooking up to your train wreck, right? So you know how it is when members import stuff from other people. Well, don't be the one that sends them down the wrong track, okay? So to date, all the video lessons that I have created since 2018, there are 446 videos on the Genealogy TV YouTube channel. There are 17 now on the new channel, Genealogy TV 2. And then there are 71 and counting on the Academy exclusive products that is growing as well. So let's take a look at the Academy dashboard just to give you some insight as to what this is about. And you're like, what are you talking about, Connie? So I teach skills. This is what I teach. I teach skills. I don't teach how to do your German research. I don't teach, specifically, how to go through a specific genre of family history. I teach skills that can go across just about any genre, right? Whether you're researching your Irish ancestry or your Danish ancestry or whoever, a lot of times, and most of us are starting in the United States and working our way backwards. And so these are the skills that I teach. So my whole goal is to help you get organized, first of all, right? To learn the skills needed to find the records, right? And then evidence evaluation, if you're not familiar with that, that is where you take one record at a time and you evaluate it for its merits, because some records are more accurate than others. And that's one of the skills that you can learn, is how to kind of read between the lines on these records to determine how accurate they are. Then there is evidence or correlation of evidence, which is where you are taking all of the documents as it pertains to one research question. So if you're trying to find a birth date, then all the evidence that as it relates to possible evidence of a birth date, you correlate that evidence. So a lot of times in census records, for example, it might be an estimated birth date of one thing or an estimated birth date of another thing. And so you kind of correlate this evidence to help determine what is the right birth date. Documentation is a big one for me. This really is a lot about research notes and how to transcribe and abstract. All of that kind of stuff is in the documentation portion of it. Learning research tools is very important. I'm teaching you one of them today. Is the full text search over there at FamilySearch is certainly a tool that we can now use. It's just fabulous. And then the research strategies. So the research strategies are things like the floating tree strategy, the quick and dirty tree strategy. Diane Southard teaches a strategy called Ask the Wife, which is a DNA strategy. I mean, there's just a bunch of them. I don't really do Diane Southard's strategy. I leave that to her. That's her jam. But I do teach a lot of the strategies that I've created. And so these skills will help take you back ancestor after ancestor, right? This is just as far as the paper trail will let us go, right? With those skills, you can then go back generation after generation. And so here is a peek inside one of the lessons. This is from the 2024 live classroom recordings. So everything's recorded, and if you can't make one of the live sessions, that's where you would find them. And so this one happens to be the strategic research. You can see over here on the left-hand side, there's a navigation bar, and you can work your way through the different lessons. And so there are two components to the Academy. There's the self-guided courses and the live classroom. Now, this is a membership course. This isn't something where you just jump in, take it, and you're finished. You can quit at any time, but it's a membership. It's constantly being added to, like probably every day. It seems like I'm adding something. It's not really every day. It's probably every week. But, as the videos come out on the YouTube channels, those are going up. As the live sessions are happening, those are also being added. So every week there's new stuff going on every week. So the live sessions happen on the first Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and they are recorded, so you can go into the recorded library and see them if you are working or can't make it for some reason. And then there is the Q&A session. Now, this is not a presentation. This is a Q&A session where you can come and ask questions. Now, a lot of times what I prefer is people send their questions in advance by noon that day at the latest. And that way I have a chance to kind of take a look at them and help gather some information for you. And then there are live questions afterwards if people have additional questions. Both of these sessions, while I try and keep them to an hour, a lot of times they run an hour and 15, sometimes even longer if there are a lot of questions. Handouts and worksheets are available. The entire library of handouts and worksheets that I have ever created are part of this academy. And so they are things like these little forms that you can fill out. Most of them are documents where they're like Word documents that have you the step-by-step instructions or information about the subject for that lesson. So in the dashboard, you have a handouts library where you can click into that and see the entire library in one place. That way you don't, like, for those who are part of the YouTube channel membership or the Patreon memberships, you kind of have to scroll through the feed if you're trying to find the handout for an older episode. And so here we have managed to put together, first of all, we rebuilt the whole website. So we put all of the handouts into a handouts library so you can find them a little bit easier. There's also a new member orientation course, and we'll talk about more of that in a minute. And then the courses. Now, you're only seeing 2 of them here, but there's a bunch of them in there. I can't fit them all on the screen. So then there is a My Accounts, under the useful links thing where you can get to your information pretty quickly. There is the advanced search feature where you can search for subject matter. So if you want to learn something about DNA or whatever, you want to learn about research notes or floating trees or whatever, you can search not only the handouts but the lessons in a variety of ways. Okay, and then there is the class calendar to give you updated information about when classes are happening or if they've moved. And then the bulletin board is there. That's got, a lot of times it's a place to go if you want to find the Zoom link, if you didn't get the email for some reason, or you're looking for information. So the bulletin board is very helpful. So here is a shot of the handouts library. So when you click on that handouts library, it takes you to a screen that kind of looks like this. And there are hundreds of handouts here that you can find all in one place, and it is searchable. Okay, 253 it looks like, and counting. So altogether in the academy, there are a bunch of lessons that are exclusive to the academy, and that goes back to 2022. There's also the Getting Started course here and the Smart Research. These are really kind of designed for beginners. The Getting Started in Genealogy would be the very first place you would go if you are new to genealogy. It kind of gives you a foundation of what to do, what to look for, just kind of what to think about. And then the Smart Research, when you're ready to start doing research, this is the phase that kind of gets you thinking in an intelligent way instead of searching for hours looking for records that just may not even be there. So the Smart Research course would then be followed up. I also highly recommend, I know I had this question the other day, what order do I do this stuff in? It's freeform. It's designed to be freeform so you can jump around wherever you want. So the question came up, well, what order do I go in? Well, if you're new to genealogy, you would probably want to start with these 2 courses, and then I would suggest that you start backwards because the fresher material is in the 2025 courses, and then work your way back into the 2024 courses and so on. Or if you have a question about a specific strategy or a specific topic, how to do record evaluation or that kind of thing, you can actually search for that and find it and take that particular lesson or that particular course and learn that. So it's really designed to fit your needs wherever you are at the moment. Then there is what I call paths. These are basically playlists. And so there's a Getting Organized path. So if you feel like you're totally unorganized, you could jump into the Getting Organized path. Now the paths are a mix of the YouTube videos and the Academy lessons, and everything from the YouTube channel has been uploaded separately to the Academy so you can watch it commercial free. There are no sitting there waiting through the ads or skipping ads or whatever.
And it's all right there. Anyway, so it's in a path. So you can then take a research notes path, a DNA path, or the floating trees path. This DNA path is specific to Ancestry, by the way. And so with that, we have now added the Genealogy TV 2 YouTube channel videos. I originally was not going to put these up because they don't have handouts with them, but people started saying, hey, are those on the Academy? And I'm like, okay, I can put those up. It's brand new, that channel. It just started like, I don't know, in the fall of last year. And so there are 12 new lessons up there that are really longer form. So if you're not familiar with Genealogy TV 2, please check it out. You can go to youtube.com/@genealogytv2 and you can then subscribe to that. But basically what it is on the weekends, you know, I might want to just click record and start doing research. I never know where it's going to take me. And so it's like almost unedited. Occasionally I'll trim up a couple places, but the idea is just to be able to crank some stuff out quickly and give you a slower paced, easier to follow lesson on what it is I'm doing in my own family tree so that you can learn some of the strategies and some of the tips that I use as I'm researching. Okay. So collectively, there are 352 lessons now at the Academy between all of the stuff that I have created since 2021. That channel actually started in 2018, but I have since put up all of this information. There's a few others from earlier that I have put up, but that's, you know, if you think about it, that's like one lesson a day for a whole year. And by the time you get to that year, there's going to be another year's worth of stuff. So, yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy doing this. So I hope you are learning a lot too. There's also the private Facebook group for Academy members. So all you have to do is ask how to get a hold of that if you are an Academy member. And this is a great place to ask questions. So a lot of times, you know, want that fast answer, and this is the place to go, because if you submit a question through the ticket system or something, it might take me 24 hours to get back to it. If it's a weekend, it's going to be Monday before I get back to it. And so if you want to ask a question, the Facebook group is a community of members from the Academy. And so everybody can jump in and help answer questions right away. I try and get in there every day. Usually in the mornings is when I jump in, and I can help answer questions. Ashley jumps in, my assistant. She gets in there and helps answer questions as well. And then the entire community. Let me tell you, there are some smart researchers in that group, and they will jump in and help answer questions as well. Anybody can answer questions. So are you ready to get organized, to find those records that are hiding in the archives, and help you find those ancestors so that you can break down those brick walls and get through this maze that we find sometimes. This will give you confidence in your research and help you learn the skills that you can use again and again. That way you can share your family history with your family, your friends, your grandkids, whoever it may be, and preserve your family tree for future generations. To me, that's what it's all about. So if you are interested in joining, go to genealogytv.org/academy. You'll have unlimited use of the courses during your membership, new lessons every month, access to live monthly Zoom meetings, access to the Q&A sessions, access to the recorded library, handouts and worksheets, all of them in the lessons and in the library, the handouts library, the Genealogy TV Insiders Facebook group. All of that is normally $62 a month, but I have it on sale right now just for this presentation, and you can get 25% off. That would equate to $46.50 a month. If you use the promo code GTVA, that's for Genealogy TV Academy, 25 and the percent symbol. If you do that on the checkout screen, on the cart screen,
you will get 25% off of your membership, and that would bring it down to that $46.50. Now, keep in mind that all of the Genealogy TV Academy is all in one place on a brand new website that we've just rebuilt. There will be a new member orientation on February 3rd presented by Ashley. And should you decide that you want to do the annual membership, you can save an extra 10% off to start with. So if you check the annual membership and you add it to your cart, it will automatically take 10% off to begin with. And then you can stack the promo code for an additional 25% off, and that should bring it down to about $500 a year. And that, specifically 50220, right? And then if you were to divide that by 12, that would be the equivalent of $41.85 a month when you pay it annually, okay? And here's the thing. You give me a year, and I promise you, I'm going to make you a better genealogist. If you come and do some of the work, I mean, you don't have to take every lesson out there. That would be crazy. But if you put in a little bit of work and a little bit of time, especially with the live sessions, oh my gosh, you are going to be a much better genealogist. So here's the breakdown, right? You can do a monthly or annual membership. It's up to you. Everything is all in one place. If you go to genealogytv.org/academy, you will see a screen that looks like this. You would click on the Get Started button, or you can read through and watch my little video about it, and you can see what other students have been saying about it. There's a whole bunch of testimonials in there. And yeah, I hope to see you in there. So for less than the cost of a 3-day genealogy conference, you can have a whole year's worth of genealogy training from a professional genealogist and have support, okay? So what's it worth to you? To learn the skills needed to find your ancestors, right? Ancestor after ancestor, generation after generation. It's such a fun journey. I love teaching genealogy. So what's not included? Let's be real. One-on-one coaching is not included. Reviewing of your family tree is not included. And reviewing of your reports is not included. There's so many students, there's not enough time for me to read through detailed reports. I do answer questions, and as long as they are reasonably brief, I can get through them and answer your questions. What is included is face-to-face Zoom calls, right? Twice a month, the Academy exclusive recordings, all of the YouTube videos from 2021 to today, all of the handouts associated with them, Genealogy TV Insiders Facebook group, and priority of your questions as Academy members, okay? So if you are committed to learning, we are committed to helping you with your genealogical journey. Okay, here's my guarantee. If you change your mind for any reason and you aren't satisfied, just send me an email within 14 days of your purchase and we will give you a full refund in 24 business days. I think in the entire time I've been doing this, I've had one person ask me for this. And I've had hundreds of students. So I think satisfaction is certainly a priority for me, and I work to take care of you. So there you go. All right, FAQs. Who's teaching the courses? 90% of them are me. Occasionally, I do have a guest speaker, and in fact, I have a guest speaker coming up in February, which is going to be fun. Is this the same as the Genealogy TV YouTube channel or the Patreon membership? No, it is not. Now, those two memberships, you're getting dripped every month, the videos and or handouts as they are produced. So you would have to scroll through the feed to find older videos. But at the Academy, you have exclusive lessons that are specific to the Academy, and then you also have all of this YouTube stuff that is easy at your fingertips. You don't have to scroll through like 2 years worth of posts to find a handout that you're looking for. The problem with the Genealogy TV YouTube membership and or the Patreon membership is they're not searchable. So you can't go, I want to find something about research notes. it's kind of hard to find. So that's the great part about the Academy, is you can do that at the Academy and find what you're looking for. All new members get 3 bonus handouts. They are 10 tips to breaking down brick walls, how to create great research notes, and how to group your DNA matches on Ancestry into 4 groups of your grandparents. All of that is included as soon as you sign up. It usually comes within a day, I think, into your email. So are you ready to stop making mistakes, to stop wasting time chasing records? Because I teach you how to find the records a little bit faster and intelligently, and then how to start getting organized, prove your lineage, learn the research skills needed, and have confidence in your research that you can share with your family. Okay? So this is a limited time offer. Ends on Sunday night at midnight. You can choose the monthly membership or you can choose the annual membership. I think you should at least give it a few months try if you're going to go with the monthly membership, just so you can really dig in and learn some new skills. But I promise you, you give me a year and I'm going to make you a better genealogist. Okay? So with that, we're going to jump into questions. All right, so now you got the scoop on what's going on at the Academy, and so I hope to see you in class, and if not, I totally get it. I totally understand. So I've got queued up here a bunch of questions, and so and some of them are just comments from people talking about the full text search, and so I'm just going to pop a few of these on. Some people found a lot of records. It was fun to see everyone's go, heck yeah, I loved it. It rippled through. People are finding so many things about the FamilySearch Full Text Search, so that was a lot of fun. And so Mark says he found a great land deed records where his heirs were selling father's land, listed their names, spouses, and state where they were living. It was gold. So you gotta love it. All right, so Anne, I think, had to leave, but she had a question. She'll probably catch this on the replay. Will the downloaded records include source citation in JPEG format if using Ancestry Gallery pictures and docs only show up as JPEG? It's a good question because I don't think you can upload a PDF to Ancestry. So you can download just a JPEG. This is one of the reasons why I create a separate document. And then I also download the transcript from, there's a little right-hand side button that is transcript only, and you can download that, or you can just highlight and copy it into another document, and you could save that as a Word document or something that can be uploaded to Ancestry if that's where you want to go with it. So yeah, you can download a JPEG format for the image. And then I certainly, when you upload an image on Ancestry now, they give you this description box. You could actually put, I don't think there's enough character room to put the whole transcript in there, but you could put a description in there or upload that document that you create. All right, so the next question was, any suggestions for OCR issues? It's hard to figure out where to put the wildcards. So sometimes you have to kind of dance around, especially OCR now is optical character recognition, and that is mostly typewritten documents, things like newspapers and stuff. And if the newspaper image is kind of grainy, it might have difficulty pulling information. So you might try thinking about phrasing. So if there's phrases that you think are going to be in an obituary, say, you could say, died last Sunday, or, give it some sort of phrasing, a funeral notice or something along those lines that might help pull out some information about that. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. This question was a tough one. I reversed an image but couldn't download it. I think she said in reversed. Is there any way to do that? I reversed an image but couldn't download it reversed.
what you could do, what I would do is just download however you can download it, and then I would take it into any paint program. You probably have them on your computer, free versions of it, and you can often flip an image in a paint program. So you might try that, see if that helps. Let's see what else I've got going on here in the queue. So she was talking about the FamilySearch Full Text Search is great for 1800 Army records. Agreed. In fact, some people were saying that here she found muster rolls in Utah and Colorado. Fabulous. So we are seeing more and more records popping up all the time, including naturalization records. Thanks for pointing that out. And first time she'd seen a photograph of him. I am dying to find some naturalization records of some of my ancestors, but I haven't found it yet. Let's see. Hang on. Let me find another one here. So here Shelley said, I had so much success, I got a little overwhelmed. It can be because we're finding so many records. So again, take it one person at a time, try and be methodical in what you're doing. And if you have to leave the screen open while you go cook dinner or something, you could certainly come back to it and continue to work through it. But those filters a lot of times will help you narrow that. So hopefully that will help. Let's see. Hang on one second. Let me find some of these others. This one made me laugh. She says, I will heck yes after this class. Good luck. I hope you find something. Thank you so much for some of these comments. This is awesome. I've been frustrated with the regular FamilySearch search function because I got too many results which didn't apply to my family. Can't wait to try this. Yeah, the filtering I think is going to be huge. I can't wait to get to Roots Tech to find out what new things they've got coming out. Can you combine an asterisk and a question mark? Yes, you can. So, and that's a great example. So here you might find Johnson or, maybe Johansson. There's a lot of things that you might be able to find with your example here. So you should be able to give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? It says, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. So you change your qualifiers there. Sorry she missed the beginning. Are you going to post the whole video for later viewing? It'll be available on, so if you go to the live tab on the YouTube channel, so go youtube.com/Genealogy TV and go to the live tab. It'll be there until Sunday night. So that's the one thing I don't like about YouTube is the live stuff doesn't get mixed in with the regular videos. I appreciate the comment. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channels. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. How do you save multiple pages found on full text search files? Now, right now, you have to download them individually. So this is one of the reasons why you might want to create your own document, because if there's multiple pages, you have to download the images separately, you have to download the transcriptions separately. So then you could clean it up and combine it all into one document. And so hopefully that answers your question there. I'm going to go back to the big queue here and see if there's any more. This is interesting. I don't use Snagit, but Dawn says Snagit has the ability to extract text from images. I have not tried it with citations, but I will now. Oh, okay. Very cool. Thank you. Shelley says you can upload a PDF to Ancestry, but it's not a thumbnail. Okay, I forgot they had changed that recently. Yeah, thanks for that, Shelley. I appreciate that. All right, I think I don't see any other questions in the queue. And I appreciate all the thanks and all of the happiness and all of the thumbs up by you guys in the heck yeahs. That was so much fun. All right, well, I'm going to end the stream now, and I appreciate all of you, and we will catch you in the next video.